Greetings, my name is Andrew Shank with The Working Pastor, and we're glad that you chose to take a moment to watch this video. The next several videos that you'll see on our website will be dealing with tips for pastoring small congregations or small churches, and I just want to share some things that my experience has taught me, because predominantly my experience has been dealing with small works congregations under 100 people. And I think that most churches in the world today are, under 100 people. That is what a local church is. Now, in some places, in some cities, the congregations are several hundred, and in some cases several thousand, and that's great. But most churches are not that size. And I think a lot of times when we get advice as pastor, we end up taking advice from somebody who's pastoring a large church, and sometimes that just does not work in a small setting. And so I want to share some things that I think will help. And again, some of these things may apply to larger churches, but my target audience is certainly the pastor of a small congregation. The first thing I want to mention to you in this video is the simple fact that you ought to love your people. Now, I know what you're thinking. Of course I love my people, or I wouldn't be pastoring that church. Well, that's true, and that is assumed. But sometimes what's on the inside does not always come out on the outside. And so, the Bible talks about let brotherly love continue. And who better to set that example than the pastor? And, if you've been in the ministry any length of time, you know there are many troubles and difficulties that pastors face while trying to lead a small congregation. The dynamics of pastoring a small work are different than a larger work. And sometimes things in a small work are magnified. And so, for example, if you are having a hard time dealing with a particular situation in your church or a particular family, sometimes your love does not get displayed because that issue is magnified. Maybe everybody in the congregation knows about the situation. Maybe just a select portion. Maybe you just got something going on in your mind and Satan's got you sidetracked. But no matter whether you're preaching, whether it's one-on-one, whether in your actions, your body language, or in your speech, I want to encourage you to be sure that you love your people. Again, they may not always see that, okay? But you know in your heart you love your people. But then do your best to make sure that it is seen in your speech, in your talk, in your gestures, your body language, your actions, your deeds, the things that you go about in your daily business, your just day-to-day living. Make sure that people know that you love them. Many times it's that one-on-one time you have with somebody, maybe at the grocery store counter, maybe at the gas station while pumping gas, maybe it's sitting in the lobby of the hospital, the waiting room, waiting to speak with one of your members there. And it's just that moment or two of one-on-one where really they know, my pastor loves me. And many times it's not what you say, it's what you show. And again, I tell you, if you want to pastor effectively in a small congregation, listen, those folk have to know that you love them. You see, when you're in a larger work, in a larger congregation, many times, though you say you love people and you display your love to people in a larger congregation, when you don't, or the effectiveness of how you show that isn't always is needed so much as it is in a small work. Now, I'm not saying in a larger work they don't love and we shouldn't love and we should be genuine. I'm just saying a lot of times people get by in a larger work by not really loving their people. You can't really do that in a small church because it's more noticeable. And so I just want to challenge you, dear pastor, dear preacher, if you're in a small congregation, they need to know that you love them and be genuine. Be genuine, 100%. Love your people regardless of the circumstance. Again, I hope this was a help to you. Again, this is a video number 1 in this series, Tips for Pastoring a Small Congregation. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.